So, if you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or undervalued in a leadership or a care team, here's what most people miss. The energy you bring into the room usually speaks louder than your word. Real leaders, they invite authenticity, but only if they embody it first. Even if no one has clapped for you, your legacy isn't always loud, but it is lasting. Greetings, and this is Coach Charlene, and welcome to the Whispers of Wellness, my new YouTube channel and show. So, I started talking about how personal development enhances professional effectiveness. And so, this is going to be part two to that because this is a really important topic. So, I want to make sure that we are really getting in the crevices of all of the things that we need to talk about. And so, if you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or undervalued in a leadership or a care team, here's what most people miss. The energy you bring into the room usually speaks louder than your words. Now, this is just to check yourself to make sure that you're good, your energy is good before you enter the room. And so, number one, inner alignment creates outer influence. When you're grounded and then you actually model that emotional stability, teams begin to mirror your presence, not your pressure. Did you hear that? When you're grounded, you model emotional stability. So your team begins to mirror your presence, not your pressure. So this is why it's so important for you to choose how you show up, because your team is looking at you. You know, they always talk about in leadership, you have to practice what you preach. And that is so true. You can't be a leader or call yourself a leader and then you're falling apart worse than everybody else. You have to get to a place where you have emotionally regulated yourself so that when challenges come, you can stand up and be that leader that someone wants to follow. So this is all about checking yourself because you want your inner alignment to create that outer influence. How will you have influence if you're struggling all by yourself within? You, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, what I'm talking about there. Very important for people to mimic your presence and not the pressure that you show or you display when you're dealing with situations. Critically important there. The second thing, your self-worth becomes your silent leadership. Without ever saying a word, your growth empowers others to rise because your peace calms chaos and your clarity strengthens the collective. So if you're walking in, and this is where we're talked about before, creating your own atmosphere, shifting the atmosphere to where you need it to be, that is a result of you doing the work before you get to work. And so without ever saying a word, don't you want to be the type of leader that when you show up, the power shows up with you, the peace shows up with you, the love shows up with you, all of the essence of who you are shows up with you, and you don't have to say a word about it? That's something to aspire to be. The third one, leadership without self awareness breeds disconnection, which I talked about on the last video. But all of teams that I know of, they disengage not just from pressure, but from performative leadership. Have you been around people that performed? They performed like leaders, but they truly were not leaders at all. Because if you have to perform, that is such an energy drain. When you show up into a leadership role and you're performing every day, it is extremely exhausting. That's why it's so important for you to be your authentic self. That's one thing about it. I was like, I want to be my authentic self. I am a love bug by nature, and I do not care what anybody else tells me or how to behave because when I lead, I want people to feel the essence of the love that's coming from me. So you're not going to see me with a stern face. You're going to see me smiling. You're going to see me pleasant. You're going to see me greeting you. You're loved and appreciated. I had a leader tell me one time, you really need to stop saying that. And I was like, you know what? You cannot tell me what I need to stop saying. That was the leadership style that I wanted to display. And I'm so glad that I did not shrink to fit into that mode that that particular leader wanted me to shrink to. I continued to love. I continued to release peace. I continued to be there for the staff in the way that I felt that they need. That's what leadership is. Leadership is you're willing to take a risk and you're willing to stand, even if you're standing there alone or leading a specific way and nobody else is leading that way. So, absolutely love that. So, we want people to be connected, but real leaders, they invite authenticity, but only if they embody it first. You hear that? Only if they embody it first. You have to be it before you can demonstrate it. And how can you expect others to be it when you are not it yourself? You haven't embodied it. Have I embodied authenticity? Have I embodied vulnerability? Have I embodied that surrender that I need to do at some times? Okay, number 4. Personal development builds psychological safety. That's one of my favorites. The more emotionally intelligent you are, the more your team feels safe speaking to you, contributing, and growing. And I love this because I feel like that was one of my superpowers. Now, I did not open my door to counsel, but I found myself always counseling staff, always counseling a leader, always counseling someone because I opened myself up to provide a psychologically safe space. And that's very important. And that comes with personal development. When you do the work on yourself, when you deal with your own wounds and your own issues and your own challenges that you have faced, then it is so much easier to help other people, to have an open heart, to have a different perspective, to be open to different perspectives. It's such a beautiful thing when you're able to do that, and it comes from you doing the work first. So look at this. According to Google's Project Aristotle, the number one predictor of high performing teams is psychological safety, the feeling that it's okay to show up fully. And that starts with you as a leader creating that tone. Can you show up fully? Now, I have to be honest. There was a time where I didn't show up fully because I didn't think that I could bring my um, whole self to work because I thought about the different biases and stuff and all of the different things that I was experiencing. And I was like, okay, I need to switch and be this kind of way. But that did not last long because I have to be me. I was hired because I was me. And so I was not going to change the essence of who I was for anybody else. See, no one deserves to cause you to change in a way that is not congruent with who you really are. It's about being who you really are and then showing up in that and providing that impact at that point. Here's your call to action. I want you to ask yourself, what energy do I bring into the room? Like, really get serious about this, you guys. What energy do you bring in the room? Do you check your energy before you even come into the room? I do. I check my energy. If I've had some challenges, I say I had an argument or something like that, which is a rare occurrence. But even in an exhaustion, I'm like, okay, I am not like my 100% right now. So I am feeling that. I remember this one scenario. So every time I come to work or when I was a nurse leader, I come and I say, hey, you're loved and appreciated. I mean, I did that like all the time for multiple years. And so one day I came to work and I think I was dealing with something. I don't know exactly what it was, but I can tell my energy was like low. And I was like, do I really, I don't even really want to be here. And so I go do my rounds. And then the staff, they were like, Charlene, you didn't tell me that you love and appreciate me. And then they all circled around me. And I was like, oh my God, it was like such love in that circle that it gave me energy. And so I had been putting it out for multiple years. When I needed it most, my staff were able to come and I was able to receive in that vulnerable moment and still be the leader that I was destined to be. So it was super beautiful. And so I want to leave you with this one framework that really kind of speaks to this, and it's called the SEEN framework. And this SEEN framework, the acronym SEEN, is a tool to reclaim visibility and your value. And so, number one, speak your truth. Even in systems that don't always listen, your voice still matters. Practice voicing your insights, your concerns, your needs, and safe spaces, team huddles, one on ones, and healing circles. But you got to start first with yourself, and then that will ripple outward. This is so important. I remember in 2022, I believe, I had started my podcast. I think it was in 2023. What I recognized that I was not really speaking my own truth. I was kind of like not really being fully present of how I wanted to show up, because at that time I was kind of in between. I was like, okay, I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to go do the things that my heart is telling me to do. And I was still busy doing for everybody else. Every time something came up, oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. Charlene would step up to the plate. She step up to the plate without really that was not my truth, though, because my truth was, Charlene, it's finally time for you to do something for you. And so it was really a sobering moment when I was able to speak to my truth, because me speaking to my truth changed my behavior. And so there was a lot of things that I used to say yes to became, no, I can't do that. No, that doesn't align. No, I just can't really fit that in. And so that's the S, speak your truth. The E is to evaluate your energy. Check in. What gives you life? What drains you? Notice the environments, the people, and the tasks that either align with or pull you away from your purpose. Awareness of your energy is the first step into protecting it. And this is so important. And that's really why I love heart math too, because it teaches you to intelligently manage your energy. If there is someone that you know that drains the very life out of you, then why would you continue to be around that person? See, you have control at that point, but you have to evaluate your energy. And I love that too, because like you can, the things like Simon T. Bailey was on my podcast one time and he said, what is those things that makes you come alive? And so you can find out like your purpose and what is going on within you when you notice that you're in your energy flow. You're in your creativity mode. You're excited. You're jubilant because you're doing something that you actually love doing. And then the third thing is to embrace your essence. I love that. Embrace the essence. How do I embrace my essence? Are you happy with you? See, your presence alone carries so much value. You are more than your productivity. Embrace what makes you you. Your compassion, your creativity, your calm in the storm. When you embrace the essence, others begin to see it too. Such a beautiful thing. And that's like giving yourself some love, and other people will feel it. It will radiate. And then the last one, the N, is to nurture your narrative. Rewrite the story you've been told, have told yourself. You are not just a cog in the machine. You are a change agent. You are a trailblazer. Reflect on what impact you've made already. And even if no one has clapped for you, Your legacy isn't always loud, but it is lasting. And so I hope you captured that. Nurture your narrative. You are the only one that can design your story. No one else can stop you from telling your story. No one can change your experiences. No one can articulate it like you. And that's why that is so powerful. So that's the same framework. S is to speak your truth. E is to evaluate your energy. E is to embrace your essence. And N is to nurture your narrative. So use the same framework. These are kind of recommendations that I have for you. When you're feeling overlooked and you're feeling undervalued, you're questioning if what you do matters, you want to shift from being invisible to impactful without actually burning out. And so I hope that this framework has helped and this message has helped, because I am really on a mission to help all of us change from the inside out, so that when we are up under the different system, because we know that sometimes the system itself, that's why I love how Dr. Jane Watson says we are the light in the midst of institutional darkness. So darkness is around us, but you can be the light. You can protect your energy. You can protect yourself, your authentic, true self, because you have the power to do that. And as you cultivate those different practices that help you to be you, then you're going to be able to thrive in the midst of the storm. Just like the I think it's the hurricane, it has an eye in the middle of the storm, in the middle of that storm. If you can like get to the eye of that storm, then there's stillness there. See, if you can get to the eye of the storm, you can see beyond the debris. What debris is in your life that you need to be able to see beyond? Because you don't want your eyes to become a trap in the midst of that storm. You want to see beyond the debris to a preferred future that you expect to get to. So, thank you for joining me today. This is the Whispers of Wellness, and it is a show on all things well being. And I'm so excited to be with you today. So, if you have any topics that you'd like to hear, put it in the chat. And also, I forgot to tell you, I didn't forget to tell you, but I want to make sure that, hey, when the moment chooses you, From Silence to Strength is out. And I'm excited about my new book. I'm also working on another book that's going to coincide with this particular channel. So, more to come on that. So, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.